It has been a year since my husband. Nathan left us. The abrupt stroke that claimed him created a profound void that seemed insurmountable. He was more than just my husband. He was the foundation of our family, and my companion in all aspects of life. Escher truly exceeded my expectations in ways I never imagined at just 24. He exhibited an unexpected level of maturity despite grappling with his own sadness. He consistently placed my well-being first, ensuring that I never had to confront my grief in solitude following the passing of his father. Asher turned into my essential support. He had consistently shown such kindness. This morning, my thoughtful son Asher entered the kitchen, a broad smile lighting up his face as he concealed something behind his back. "Good morning, Mom," he said, leaning in to plant a kiss on my cheek. "I have something special for you, a surprise." I arched my eyebrow, curiosity piqued. "You have to come outside," he insisted, his enthusiasm contagious. I trailed behind him to the driveway where the morning sun bathed a sleek silver car in light. Instantly recognizable as that convertible, I inhaled sharply as I absorbed everything around me. It was an object of my admiration for years, yet I never truly believed it could be mine. Bathed in the morning light, it shimmered, appearing almost unreal. "Do you enjoy it?" he inquired, beaming widely. "It's yours, Mom," Asher declared. "It's stunning, but how did you acquire it?" "I truly appreciate all that you've done for me. For us, you deserve this." Yet there was a hint of uncertainty in his voice, revealing a glimpse of vulnerability. "I understand that things have been challenging at home. I hope this would bring you joy once more." Tears welled up in my eyes. "I am not worthy of this. Listen." "Asher, it's becoming too much," he retorted. "No, it's not. You've always prioritized others. Now it's time for you to focus on yourself." His words resonated deeply with me. I embraced him tightly and murmured, "Thank you." My voice quivering, "This means a lot to me." That evening, we drove with the roof open, the breeze tolling our hair as we cruised. Through the streets we knew so well, laughter bubbled up uncontrollably. The sky was a breathtaking blend of orange and blush hues at dusk. After what seemed like an eternity, a sense of lightness began to fill my heart. Asher didn't merely gift me a car, he awakened in me the essence of truly living and cherishing the beauty that surrounds us. Despite the pain of knowing his love and care were directed towards her, the once unattainable now seemed attainable once more as we pulled into the driveway. Asher glanced at me, his expression solemn. He spoke gently. "Mom, I understand that times have been hard for you. I'll always be by your side, but I can't. Bring your dad back. You're not alone." I had complete faith in him. Asher truly cared for me and stood by my side, allowing me to progress while cherishing Nathan's memory and looking forward to brighter days. As the weeks went by, Asha unveiled different facets of his personality that I hadn't fully appreciated before. It was beyond the grand car show. It was the small gestures from those around me that reassured me I wasn't alone in facing life's hurdles. It began with the basics. One morning I stumbled into the kitchen, still in a haze of sleep. I found myself unprepared for the day, yet Asher was already awake, wearing an apron. He was busy preparing pancakes. He gave me a playful wink and placed a plate of fluffy pancakes before me. "I thought you might appreciate a little break from the kitchen," he remarked. I chuckled gently and remarked that he was indulging me. His kindness truly elevated my mood. "You truly deserve to be pampered, Mom," he said, his tone soft yet earnest. "I appreciate everything you've done for me. Allow me to take care of you this time." It was more than just breakfast. Asha always planned ahead and discovered ways to enhance my days when I chose not to sift through the attic brimming with Nathan's belongings. Asher ventured up there alone. He never pressured me to take any action, yet he ensured that everything was arranged for my benefit on a rainy afternoon. When I felt prepared, I discovered him arranging flowers in a vase in the living room. I lingered at the threshold, observing him for a moment. I found myself wondering what was the reason for it all. He looked my way and offered a faint smile, replying, "No, I simply wish to bring a touch of vibrancy to the home, and I know how much you adore Lise." His thoughtfulness made my heart flutter. Asher should recall the times when Nathan would unexpectedly bring me flowers just because. I spoke gently. "You're truly unique." He flashed that familiar smile of his and replied, "I do my best." Yet it was beyond merely his demeanor. He observed the little details. Whenever he noticed me deep in contemplation, gazing out the window for a spell, he would quietly fetch me a cup of tea and join me in a comfortable silence. He understands me. I find myself feeling quite overwhelmed by my job lately. The demands seem to pile up endlessly, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to manage everything. Each Day brings new challenges that feel insurmountable, leaving me drained and stressed. It's hard to keep up with the expectations, and I often wonder how much longer I can sustain this pace. He would leap in and suggest that I ought to take a pause. He frequently reminded her mom, "You don't need to take care of everything by yourself. I've got your back." One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Asha cast a contemplative glance my way while we sat on the porch, taking in the view. He remarked, "You know you're incredible. Where is that from?" I smiled and inquired, "Really?" He shrugged and said, "That's simply the truth you have consistently shown. Remarkable strength even in the face of adversity. I truly admire how you manage it all. Just do it." I looked away because his words struck a deep chord within me. "I told you, I'm not as strong as you think sometimes. I feel like I'm barely holding it." Asher reached over and placed his hand on mine. In a gentle voice, he said, "You don't have to carry it all by yourself. You can lean on me. That's what family's for." His understanding truly moved me. I squeezed his hand. He had this way of making me feel seen, as if he truly grasped the weight of my grief and the burdens I was carrying each and every day as the weeks transformed into months. Asher's unwavering support emerged as my cornerstone. He inspired me to embrace life, a new adventure beyond my familiar boundaries. One day he enrolled us in a cooking class, believing it would be an enjoyable experience for the two of us initially. I felt uncertain, yet his passion swayed my decision. During class I experienced a moment of laughter that felt long overdue. Asher was never one to adhere to recipes. He frequently just improvised. I was enjoying myself with the ingredients when our stew crumbled dramatically. He shot me this completely insincere, sad expression. "We may not take home any accolades, but at least we'll have an incredible tale to tell," he delivered. Punchlines that left me in stitches, my sides hurting from laughter each time. Asha offered me a compliment. I found myself taken aback, feeling a sense of uniqueness that had eluded me since Nathan's departure that night. Asha stood still when he caught sight of me in a dress I hadn't donned in ages. I was preparing for dinner. Spending time with a longtime companion, he gazed at her and remarked, "Wow, Mom, you look incredible." I felt my cheeks flush. I told him to cut it out and brushed him aside. "It's merely an old dress." He insisted, "No, seriously, you look beautiful." I found myself reflecting on his words throughout the night, and it truly lifted my spirits. I had no idea just how much I needed. Asher, he didn't merely offer compliments, he genuinely stood by me as I sought to rediscover my happiness. He caught me off guard with a weekend getaway to a local vineyard. We wandered among the vines, savoring various blends, and we found ourselves chuckling at our clumsy efforts to articulate the flavors, especially since they were aware of my passion for wine tastings. Asha teased, "You've got an eye for quality. I think we've uncovered your true talent." I shot back, "Maybe you should stick to your regular job, wine critic." I rolled my eyes, yet a smile crept onto my face. I hadn't anticipated that our time together would mend me in so many ways. Asha's unwavering love and support served as a reminder that life still held beautiful and significant moments. Even in my low times, those moments prompted a shift in my perspective. Joy had returned at last, not in spite of the pain, but because of the love that envelops me. That night, a tempest was unleashed beyond the walls, the wind wailing and rattling the panes. As I was finishing up the dishes in the kitchen, the light suddenly went out after flickering a few times, catching me completely off guard. "Asher," I called out, my voice slicing through the unexpected stillness. "I'm here," he called out from the living room. His voice brought an immediate sense of joy to my heart. A moment later, his footsteps echoed once more. As he entered through the doorway carrying, "Oi," he swung the flashlight across the room and remarked, "Seems the storm knocked out the power." I let out a soft chuckle and responded, "It's actually a bit cozy." I wiped my hands on a towel. "At least we have flashlights," Asha remarked with a smile. "This brings me back to those cold winter nights, when the power was out. Do you remember? How could I ever forget?" I smiled, reminiscing. "You always used to plead with me to play games to fill the hours precisely," he replied, a playful grin emerging on his lips. "Why not take that step now?" He lifted an eyebrow and inquired, "What do you mean?" "Hide and seek," he responded, his eyes glimmering in the dim light. "Let's reminisce about the good old days. It'll be a blast." I laughed. "Play hide and seek." "Asher, we're not kids anymore." He chuckled. "Yeah, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves tonight unless you're worried it'll be too simple for me to track you down." That was all it took. Asher understood. I'd always give my all when faced with a challenge. Very well, I remarked, folding my arms across my chest. Do not entertain the notion that I will. He simplified it for me. He chuckled and began to count down from 10 as I hurriedly snatched a flashlight and sprinted into the shadowy corridor. The tempest beyond the walls cast an eerie dance of shadows throughout the house. I sank to my knees behind the couch in the den, struggling to regain my breath. I'm coming, ready or not. Ash's voice rang out through the house, and I couldn't suppress a laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all. It was exhilarating and delightful to simply embrace the moment and revel in a sense of unrestrained joy. I could hear his slow, deliberate footsteps, approaching as if he was fully immersed in the experience. You know, Mom, he said with a playful grin, if you want to remain incognito, you really need to step up your game. I had to stifle a laugh as his silhouette moved past the den door. Just as I believed he was about to depart, he pivoted and grinned, illuminating the room with the flashlight. I found you, he declared, directing the beam of light towards me. I chuckled and stood up, exclaiming, Wow, you really excel at this. He responded with a smile. With a self-satisfied smirk, he declared, Years of practice, I knew. I had to track him down immediately. I changed places and began my search for a few minutes. His movements were so swift and fluid that it felt almost unbelievable. He darted out from his concealment before I could even reach for him at long last. I managed to catch up as I swung open the closet door in the guest room. There he sat, all curled up in the corner, a grin on his face that suggested he might feel guilty about it. Erupted in laughter and exclaimed, Gotcha. He responded, All right, as he stood up and raised his hands to indicate he was finished. I'm finished. Apologies. I didn't win. We collapsed on the couch in the living room, our laughter resonating through the stillness of the house. The storm outside continued to roar, yet within there was a comforting warmth between us. It felt as though we had returned to a more innocent time, and our bond was more profound than ever. I shook my head and teased, You're skilled at this, but next time, I'll take the victory and you'll be in trouble. He chuckled and looked at me with that familiar warmth I had come to cherish. I'm truly grateful we shared this moment. It's wonderful to embrace your true self once more. Thank you. I completely understood his point, and I was in agreement with him. It is indeed true. We passed the time exchanging stories and reflecting on memories as the power remained out for the remainder of the night. Asher lounged on the couch, his gaze fixed on me as I recounted a tale from his childhood, a time when he found himself in a bit of mischief. I playfully poked him and gave his arm a gentle nudge. You are quite the challenge, he said to her. You're the most patient mom ever. His voice brimming with affection. I'm completely at a loss for how you pulled that off. I grinned and gave a casual shrug. When you truly care for someone, the weight becomes insignificant. The weight of those words was never my intention, yet we both remained silent, unwilling to shatter the stillness between us. Asher leaned in and gently tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, and his touch lingered far too long. He whispered gently, Mom, you're incredible. I trust you understand that. A warmth spread across my cheeks, stirred by an emotion I couldn't fully grasp. What about pride, thankfulness? Asher, you can't imagine the significance of that to me. The house fell into a hush as the night deepened and the storm subsided. I ignited several candles. Asher assisted me in lighting the candles, and their gentle radiance enveloped the room in a cozy golden ambiance. We lingered on the couch into the late hours, sharing laughter and conversation after what felt like an eternity. I experienced a genuine sense of tranquility. His unwavering support served as a reminder that even in the darkest moments there remains a glimmer of hope in life. As I fell into slumber that night, my mind wandered to the closeness we had, forged not merely as mother and son, but as two souls intertwined by an enduring connection, navigating the twists and turns of life together. The storm outside had settled, with the rain gently tapping against the windows. Asher and I lounged on the couch, savoring the tranquility after our game of hide and seek while the flickering candles cast elongated shadows on the walls. He reached for the remote and suggested, Let's watch a movie, something light, not scary. I've had enough excitement for one night. I let out a small chuckle. I'm all in for that. How about something romantic? He raised an eyebrow, intrigued by the idea. He appeared taken aback. Are you interested in beginning to date? I gently tapped his arm in a